Welcome back to Acha Podcast. We're your host, Hida.
And Fizza.
And today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Rishta process. For those of you who don't know, Rishta means
marriage proposal.
And we have some funny anecdotes that we've been through, also friend stories and other experiences. But I want to start off by giving a huge shout out to the Rishta Baji. Her tag is level up 1%. Have you seen her?
Yep.
I love her. Oh my God. She is like modernizing basically what the Rishta process is like.
She's like what Seema auntie should have been.
Honest, we don't talk about Seema auntie. Oh my God. So she's literally a much better, new, improved version. Also, her service is free, which is wild to me.
Really?
For now.
Seema auntie's been asking people for like 10 grand.
$10,000?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard, but don't quote me on that. Okay, anyways.
So this Baji, she like has people apply. She has like an application process, and then she will try and match people. But I really love about her is that she's very honest and very like, I don't want to say cutthroat, but like blunt.
Yeah.
About people's profiles.
Just get to the point kind of thing.
She's like, listen, this is problematic. This, you're not bringing to the table. Also, my favorite quote of hers is, the person you choose also has to choose you.
Yes. Oh my God. Some people can be so entitled about that.
So entitled. There's that recent one where like the person she was saying was entitled to her time turns out to be like an older gentleman who's a grandfather and looking for marriage. He's divorced and stuff.
Oh my God, is he the one that was looking for someone that was like 30 years younger than him or something?
No, that was Mr. Leadership McLeadership or whatever she called him.
Oh, okay.
He was like already divorced and stuff.
So what happened to the grandpa?
Nothing. I think she's like kicking him off because he just was so entitled and like was leaving nasty comments on her different like videos and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Don't do that.
How are you gonna reach out for support and then
act that way?
Shitty comments.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways, so for those who don't know, the whole Rishta thing is very cultural to the South Asian community, other communities too. And then it also varies, like if you're like Muslim or Hindu or Sikh or whatever. So for us, like growing up, we saw our older friends, family friends go through this process or looking at profiles of people. It's like what Tinder was back in the day,
I guess.
Right? Because like you get pictures and like people's information, their biodata.
There's a whole network of aunties.
Yes.
That Rishta aunties. Yeah. Who like live across,
the globe. And they like, some of them actually do this as a job. Like some of these are paid services and some of them are just like, hey, I know so-and-so is single and like your kid is single,
Yeah.
That might be a match.
Right.
I remember I got my first Rishta when I was literally the day I turned 19. Do you remember this?
I don't remember.
Someone called my mom, or our mom, my mom is my mother. Someone called mom and they're like, oh, we hear like your daughter is of age now and there's like this person.
He lives of age at 19?
Listen, don't get married before you're 25. Of age at 19, and the person that they were asking for was like in his 30s, and he was like an engineer who lived on Long Island or something, or like in New York, I don't know. And mom was just like, my daughter just turned 19. Like, no, she's not looking. Thank God. And then like hung up. But that was the first time.
Oh my.
Do you remember the first time for you?
Yes, I was gonna say 19. For me, it was 17. So we had a family friend wedding happening in Surrey, and so typically me and Appa are like the entertainment for family friend weddings because we love to dance, like choreograph dances and stuff. We come up with the choreography. I sing, but you couldn't make it last minute, I think, and so I ended up having to do this whole dance routine by myself. Wild.
Is this the one where the aunties with their dupatta?
Yes. So it was all ladies, all girls, Mendi. And I think one of the songs I was dancing to was Choli Ke Piche Kya Hai.
Okay.
And the aunties.
That's a risque song.
The
already.
Aunties, man, the dupatte, they're going like this. They're swinging, they're hooting and hollering. I was like, I've literally never seen them like that before.
Like, when is your shut up?
I was like, oh my God. But apparently, like, mom was sitting at a table and some aunties were talking about me once, like, I had to finish the dance and finish the singing and stuff. They're like, oh, like, I wonder, like, how old she is, da 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 da. And then mom turned to them and was like, "That's my daughter, and she's 17."
She is a child.
Literally.
They were like, "Oh, we like the way she dunkas on the floor."
Disgusting.
You. Speaking of Rishtas, so as we're growing up, obviously, like you know this is gonna happen to you, right? You're very aware of it, but I don't know about other women, but me, I was like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want, because my mom would always be like, "Oh, just fill out this information, like send your biodata," because if she filled it out, she was not gonna fill it out honestly, or like not honestly, but like okay,
wheatish skin tone.
Wheatish skin tone. What does that even mean? I don't know, man. If your parents ask you to fill out a profile, do it yourself. Don't let them do it because they're going to maybe not know all the information that the other person would want to know. Like, for example, mom would always write that I was religious. I'm not, right? Like, she would always write that I pray 5 times a day. I don't. It's just, it is what it is. So this other person who's looking at the profile is thinking they're gonna get this like must-be like religious girl while I'm over here just not.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
Yeah.
So at one point, I also like didn't date.
Yeah.
Ever. Like it wasn't my thing. I was always like working. I don't know, it wasn't interesting.
Surviving.
So honestly surviving. That's what it was. I was in survival mode.
That, and then also like we at that point were living in a city where
there was no prospects.
There
was
like
very
zero.
Small community.
Yeah.
And like the online thing hadn't really taken off yet. Like there was things like shadi.com, which mom actually 1 year did reach out and was like, "Why don't you make a profile on shadi.com?" And I'm like, "Listen, sis, you're talking about a dinosaur system."
I remember like just exploring it once just to see what it was like, and you're so right. It was very like it was very old.
Then there was like on the western side of things, there was like Plenty of Fish or something.
Yeah, POF.
There was like other like older before Tinder, like before the swiping stuff came in. There was other platforms. No, just never was interested. So once I had moved out and like settled down here in the Lower Mainland, I met Alex and like we started dating.
Yeah.
And I hadn't told my mom yet, right? So like you guys all knew, but mom didn't know. So before all of this came to be, there was a point where my mom was sending me like all these rishtas one after another because she was just like, "Oh my god, she's never gonna get married."
Yeah.
It's like that stress that parents have, right, at a certain age.
Eldest daughter,
first kid, like
expiring.
I was already expired at that point. I was like 27, already expired. Put me back on the shelf. And then I had to ask Fizza to intervene.
Yes.
So every time a rishta would come through,
I had such a fun time. Like I had to go. So I went up to mom and I was like, "Listen, the rishta that you sent so far have really been bothering me because who are these people?
Yeah.
And like, they're not a match for my sister, you know?
This is why you need your sister, honestly.
Like she's sending like all these rishta, like these like uncle ass looking. Listen, okay? No offense to anybody out there, but she's sending all of these rishta of these guys who 5'8",
short,
5'8", 5'9". We're taller than your average Pakistani woman.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's like at least 6 foot. You know,
like 5'11".
Like we know that.
Yeah.
People typically think that's a shallow thing, but like it's a preference. I'd say
it's a preference.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But anyways, so mom started forwarding me the messages, and so I'd get like a couple of pictures, and I'd like look through all their bio data, and I would just respond yes or no because like I know the kind of person that you'd want to be with.
Yeah.
Essentially, I never really saw her with a desi guy, like ever.
I think I kind of realized that a long time ago. Like I did try. Like I did like meet a couple people from the community, and it just I don't know. I don't think I was built to be a part of a Pakistani family, like the way that I was raised.
Yeah.
Like hyper independence, being so like not that other people aren't, but just the way that I grew up and like the way that my values sat when I was an adult. I couldn't do that. Like I knew I couldn't do it. And honestly, if we're being honest, I didn't really meet any Pakistani or Muslim guys from the Desi community that really checked off all the boxes that I wanted, right? A lot of them had like very old mentalities where they were like, "We don't want you working after, stay home with the kids." Like that's not me. That's never been me, right? Now that I have a baby and stuff, like I'm going back to work.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not staying at home. I would like to stay home and like raise her if I could, but I mean in this economy,
It should be her choice, though,
But
right?
it's a choice, right? Like that's because I want to do it. It's not like I expect you to do it, right?
Yeah.
And then there were some who were like, "Oh, well, will you wear the hijab after marriage?" Which I'm obviously not wearing it when I'm in front of you, so no, I don't think I would do that. There were some
Oh.
interesting like conversations, I would say, if I'm being as like gentle as possible.
And what do they say about Pakistani men? They are the most dependent creatures when it comes to mothers.
We have two brothers.
Yes.
We have worked very hard on
That's
them.
the other thing too, right? Like even when I was like kind of just looking around, so many of at least as far as Pakistani men go, sorry, not sorry, who were very like dependent on their mom. And their moms would like baby them in the sense that they would like wash their clothes and like clean their rooms and make them food and all of these like things that you should eventually start doing yourself.
If you're in your 30s, wash your own laundry. Like, do your own laundry. Like, what's wrong with you? Why is your mom cleaning your chuddy?
I
That's so
know.
gross.
I know. Um, so I don't know. Even just that whole thing icks me out because I'm like, why are you still relying on your mommy?
I remember these two very prominent rishtas that I got that were just really bad matches. I don't know if you know what I'm talking
Which
about.
ones were those ones?
There was the one where the gentleman was very religious, like good for him, not my vibe. To the point like where he was wearing a pagdi. A pagdi is like a turban that Pakistani people wear. Mostly older men, but like this guy was like I think the same age as me
Okay.
and had like what I call the Muslim facial hair, which personally I don't find very
The no
attractive.
mustache?
The no mustache but full beard, but also his beard wasn't really bearding, it was just like scraggly.
Ew.
um he also like worked in HR, which is fine. But like had been in the same position for like the past 8 years. So like ambition. In
Mm,
my eyes, I'm like that kind of feels like you're lacking ambition.
mm,
And then still live with his parents, expected to have his partner live with the parents. A lot of like old school expectations. And
mm.
I called my mom and I'm like, "Do you even know me?" Hello, I'm your oldest child.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, well, so and so person, they said they're a family friend and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "And
Yeah.
no, like, I hope he found someone that
Oh man.
matches what he wanted, but it was definitely not me."
Yeah.
Ugh, the
She,
worst.
she she was really hoping, I guess, like because she knew that you weren't, as religious as she hoped, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming
Sorry,
she was
mom.
hoping that if she got you married to someone that was like more religious, then that it would bring you back to like religion. But that's not how it works.
I'm just picturing.
No.
No. I feel like I'd be more rebellious,
I think your life would be miserable. Like I think
honestly.
when you find somebody, I feel like your beliefs should align
Yeah. In a lot of things, not
in a
just
lot of
religion,
different
like
things, of course.
politics, like how to raise children. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't it. And then the one that was way worse than that one. So I'm a social worker. I'm pro LGBT. I work with the community. Like there's a lot of things that I do that the Muslim slash Desi community kind of frown upon. But it's a part of my work and it's part of what I'm passionate about, what I
Mm-hmm.
believe in. So my mom gets this rishta and she's like gets off the phone with this person and she's like, "Oh, so the lady whose son it is, she's very active in the community and like that whole thing, the way she phrased it was like the stuff with the trans people in Urdu, it's like the stuff with the trans people, like she's also doing work around that." And I was like, "Oh my god, that is so progressive for someone from your generation."
Yeah.
Like, okay, like this is great. If the mom's like that, she must have raised her sons to be really progressive.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm happy to talk to the mom and see where things go. And at that point I was a hijabi. And so I'm like talking to this auntie and like things are going well, and then she's like, "Okay, so beta, we're working on this campaign and we really need more like hijabi Muslim women to be a part of the campaign." In my head I'm thinking more Muslim women, more like people speaking out about like trans rights. No, she was anti-trans.
Yeah, when you told me
she's
that,
she was like, "I need more Muslim hijabi women to speak out in public and say that they're not comfortable with men entering women's bathrooms." And I choked up. I remember I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, auntie, I'm getting a phone call. I'll call you back." Handed the phone to my mom and I was like, "Hang up."
have fun. I remember when you told me that, I was so excited for you too,
I
because
was
I'm like,
actually genuinely excited.
I was like, this is perfect because yeah, like your kids are probably progressive and like, you know, you'd get along with, you know, your to-be mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But that really took a turn that I didn't expect.
That
either, so.
and then my mom, and I had to explain to my mom. She was like, what's the problem?" And I had to explain to her that the lady was on the opposite side of the work that I do. And my mom was like, "Oh no." And like in our family, like we've been very like accepting of trans people. Like even our nani amma, like in Pakistan they are called khwaja sira, and she supported a lot of them while she was alive. So like that's never been like a hot topic of debate in our house.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "Oh my god," like,
because like we know people who like, even if you brought up queerness in any kind of conversation, it was like,
no,
shut the hell up,
no,
like stop talking.
So it got to the point where I was dating Alex. Alex is Eritrean, he's from East Africa, and Fizza knew I was dating him. My mom was still sending proposals, so Fizza would forward them to me, and Alex and I would look at them together. And he would be like, "Oh, you should marry this guy," fully knowing our intention was to get married. But I guess that's what happens when you have a supportive.
Oh my god, I love that. That's hilarious.
So thank you. But yeah, we'll talk about our relationship in a different episode because interracial marriage is a whole other topic. But here we are, 6 years later together, 4 years married, plus a kid. Yeah. Didn't ever think that was gonna happen.
We love him so much. Like, he's my best friend. Aww. And he has such a special relationship with, like, you know, us 3 siblings individually. So
that's why I married him.
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
Very important for people to mesh with your family.
That is huge.
It's huge.
That's, if one piece of unsolicited advice I could give to the general public is the person you pick should match with your family's vibe. Now, I say that saying that us 4 siblings have a very, very tight relationship. We're very close. So that was very important to me. But, you know, maybe if you're not as close to your family, that person still has to show up for your family and like be there for you, and your family members, because that's really, really important. That's your support system before you found your partner. Now, I understand people grow up in toxic households. We did too.
Different upbringings.
Yeah. But there has to be an aspect of, if not family, then friends, or the people you consider family or who are close to you. That person should have a special relationship with them. Yeah. Like if I was ever struggling, I would 100% be okay with Fizza going to Alex and saying, "Hey, have you noticed there's something going on?" Or vice versa, if he's noticing something, because that is your new support system, your partner, and then your loved ones involved. So,
which is a hard reality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
In particular, Desi moms.
Oh.
Who, I guess, like, have this like entitlement to their sons.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like I've seen that a lot where, you know, when you get married, your partner is your number one priority. Yes. But there's a lot of like Desi moms out there that are very like, oh, like my son's gonna listen to whatever I say, and whatever I say goes.
I mean, it's not just Desi moms; it's like boy moms. You know, that whole toxic boy moms. There's good boy moms, but like boy moms, right? You always hear about the whole psycho mother-in-law. It's like, you should have just married your son, sis.
Okay, so speaking of Rishta aunties and the whole like Rishta auntie network, there was that show called Indian Matchmaking.
Oh yeah,
that came out with Auntie Seema.
Oh my,
our favorite.
Seema?
Seema. I think
Seema
Seema auntie.
Seema auntie.
Anyways,
this scares me,
dude. I honestly never really understood her vibe. Like, just the way that she had conversations with like these like eligible, you know, young people that she was trying to like match. It just didn't seem very genuine. Very disingenuous, especially for the women.
She kind of seemed like she wanted the women to be in like a cookie cutter mold, if that makes sense.
Yes. So like there would be guys, she'd be like, okay, so like to the men, like what are some of the things that you look for in a woman? Oh, I want her to be thin, and I want her to be educated, and I want her to be this, and I want her to be that, whatever. And she's like, yeah, that's great. But then when women would tell her their preferences, like for example, if someone's like, you know, I would love for someone to have like really nice hair because that's something that I, you know, that I find attractive, right? Tell me why Auntie Seema is showing her bald men. And she's like, like you
need to lower your standards.
You need to lower your standards. Like, you know, you have to make compromises, whatever. I'm like,
I don't think she helped any of those people. I don't think any of them matched.
I think one of the guys from the first season was also like domestically violent, actually, and I think his partner left him.
God.
I don't remember what his name was, but like I remember he was like this really like wealthy guy. Yeah.
Listen, it's important to have standards. Yeah. It's important to have standards. It's also important to not be delusional, right? I think it's already hard. It's already so hard to meet people, especially in this fast-paced world where people are just not genuine anymore. I mean, I say this all the time to like all my single friends. Like, I do not miss being single, if I'm being honest. Like, going from the person who was never gonna get married to now I'm settled. I don't have to worry about this anymore.
Yeah.
I hear the stories, and I'm like, couldn't be me. And I have my own set of horror stories. When
somebody said to me recently, the bar is no longer in hell, it's Hinge. So like Hinge is that dating app where like people can like comment on like, I don't know, your picture, like something that you say, and then like you see it, and if you think you like the person back, then you can match with them, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
But yeah, I've been hearing that too. The bar is below hell.
Yeah.
With a lot of these
I just don't understand. Like, I know some people are just out to, see how many people like them. Some people are out there with the disingenuous intentions and whatever. But like the people who actually want to find other people, like I need to understand like what is the block? What is the issue? And I think that Rishta is doing a great job of that, right? Like seeing who the serious people are and like really giving them good feedback.
Yeah.
Because like you hear some of these stories, like some of the dating stories that some of my friends talk about, and friends who are looking for like long-term relationships, and it's scary out there.
It is.
People aren't honest about who they are online, and that's terrifying.
Yeah. I think like one of the things that's been like I've been seeing a lot of discourse about this online is like for any of like the Muslim community, there are other apps like Salams and like Muzmatch and stuff like that. Is trying to figure out the halal to haram ratio. Because like obviously on your profile, no judgment whatsoever. If you're somebody that drinks or smokes or you don't eat halal all the time, you're not gonna put that on your profile.
Not a lot of people do, but also some people will put religious, praise 5 times a day, but also put drinks, which whatever, like do your thing. But like for those people who are religious, they're like
make it make sense.
Make it make sense. I mean, whatever. If that's your vice, that's your vice. Everyone's got their struggle, but I think the halal to haram ratio conversation is so funny because what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like, okay, so this is kind of like relating back to like kind of what we were talking about in the first episode of like living that double life, right?
Yeah.
Growing up here as like first generation kids, trying to balance both Eastern, Western cultures, religion. There are a lot of people out there that, obviously aren't as honest about who they truly are, which is fair. Right. Like, I'm the same. There might be certain things that I prefer or whatever, the way that I am that I wouldn't want everybody to know about necessarily.
And that's fair. Like those things come up in conversation, but like if your initial profile is not honest about who you are, like on the surface level, how's that going to go any further? Yeah. Right. And you know what? It's not just the people looking for Rishtas. It's also the parents. Parents, I find a lot of times don't actually know the reality of what their kid does or like is as a person. Like I remember getting one Rishta where like the auntie was clearly in denial. Like there's no way she didn't know this, but she was like, yeah, my son does this, that, and the third thing. He's never drank. He's never smoked. I went to high school, the same high school as this kid. He was older. He was a chain smoker, which do your thing, but that's not my preference, right? I don't want someone who's a chain smoker. Right. But when my mom brought this to me, or our mom, I keep saying my mom, when mom brought this to me, I was like, Mom, she doesn't know her own son, right?
Yeah.
So, and it same goes for like the girls too. Girls have to be more protective of their lives when it comes to like this whole process because it's a lot more dangerous for them, or can be more toxic for them. And it's just like, how do we fix this?
I think if we're talking about single people too, like it's so funny how many times moms brought up like, oh, like so and so's kid, like, they're a doctor or they're this or they've done this. And you're like, bro, this guy does cocaine, man. Like, but I can't tell. Actually, you know what though? We've told mom like,
we're like, listen,
man, this is the reality. You don't know how this person truly is, right? I just want you to know this so you can stop bothering me about it.
One thing I've always said is like, families will look into other families about like, what they're like when they're going through this whole Rishta process. I think it's really important for the people going through the process, our generation, to also ask around, because we are the ones that will know the actual reality of what the person that you're looking into is like.
Yeah.
Because our parents' generation, they have that like separation, right? They may not know everything about their child, and some of that information is important, right? Things like, do they drink, do they smoke, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, political views even, right? Like
That's huge.
That's a huge one, right?
It's huge.
So I think it's really important for people to really look into a person and not just trust that their parents will do a good enough job, because I've heard so many stories of like the parents thinking it's a great prospect and it just doesn't turn out.
Or even like trusting the person, right? Like,
yeah,
it's so difficult with the Rishta process because you won't truly know how somebody is unless you live with them.
Yeah.
And
you can't do that until you get married.
Exactly, right? Like, I talk a lot about, wanting to move out on my own, and my little brother will be like, "Oh, like, what if we were to move in together?" And I was like, "I don't want to live with a boy." But it's different with your siblings because like you're used to their mess.
Yeah.
You're used to their habits. It's gonna piss you off.
Because you grew up with them. But a brand new person that you've never grown up with.
Right.
Alex and I had this after we got married and like moved in together, where like we had to have a conversation about our habits, because like I think we were just driving each other a little bit off on the edge.
Yeah.
So like we agreed, like one thing, I'm like, I will never do the laundry. I hate doing laundry. It's not the process of doing laundry. I will not fold the clothes. He is a perfectionist when it comes to folding clothes. Like, I mean, everything down to the underwear is like sharp edges, folded, put away. I'm the type rolls it up, throws it in the closet.
Oh my god, that gives me anxiety.
His thing was he doesn't like washing dishes, and I'm like, cool. I don't mind washing dishes, and so that's our balance, right? So like, I do all the dishes, he does all laundry. It works, but you don't learn that until you move in with someone.
Yeah. And not everybody is willing to make or like meet their partner in the middle that way. Compromising, right? Like, especially when, in our culture, gender roles are like so heavily focused on. Essentially, a lot of men are conditioned, to think like the way that their parents did. Like, your wife should be cooking and cleaning and this and that and the next thing.
But also having a job.
But also having a job and also raising kids. And
no, that's just a no. And I think that one thing that our community needs to really talk more about is why we see separation and divorce so negatively.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh, everyone is getting divorced nowadays. It's because of, no, it's because a lot of women are standing up for what they believe in and wanting to have a comfortable life, not a life where they feel like they're walking on eggshells or, always on edge. And they're demanding what their rights are and what their expectations are. And I think that's fair.
A lot of what you'll hear, from, our parents' generation and like other people is like, oh yeah, like they were married, but they got divorced because they just couldn't handle it. They were too weak.
Or they didn't try hard
enough. Or they didn't try hard enough.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, I'm like, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of women are now financially independent.
Yeah.
We
don't need men.
We don't need
for
men
a one-up in life.
For a one-up, exactly. And I feel like a lot of us are so fulfilled in our like female friendships.
Yeah.
Like, I always talk about that with friends. I'm like, one of my greatest friends bought me a gold ring, which I wear like every day.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, if I ever end up with somebody, I'd want to compare my relationship with my girlfriends to what this person is doing.
Yeah, because your girlfriends take care of you
They
in
do
such
so
a
much.
specific way.
Exactly.
Right? And your partner should also be doing that.
Yes.
I think one thing the Muslim community forgets is that back in the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, I'll try and find the actual quote and put it in if I can find it. Divorce and separation was very common back then, right? Because sometimes, no matter how much things align, people are just not compatible. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. There is a reason we were granted divorce, right? We were allowed to pursue that, because why should you be stuck with the same person that you both clearly don't like each other? It's not working, so why be miserable? And then why bring kids into that misery?
Oh my god, I was actually talking to a friend about this. He's Filipino, and we were talking about like how a lot of people have this belief, especially again in our parents' generation, that if you are not getting along with your spouse, Have a kid, everything will get better.
Don't. Oh my goodness.
And he's like, and the both of us were like, this kid didn't ask to be born.
No. Okay. Pause. As someone who works in child protection and like has a child development background, do not bring a child into a toxic marriage. I feel like this is understandably more accepted nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of times I have heard aunties talking to married girls who are struggling in their relationship, mom included, which I've had to call her out a couple times, is oh koi baat nahi, bacha paida kar lo, sab kuch theek ho jayega. Oh, don't worry, have a kid, everything will be fine.
How? I have too many thoughts.
Postpartum. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, trying to get pregnant is stressful.
Right.
Pregnancy is stressful. Yeah. Postpartum feels like it never ends. I'm like 9 months in and I'm like, hello, when is this going to finish?
Right.
The baby, like the reason they think everything's going to be better is because the child becomes the distraction. So your issues are still there. You just don't have time to fight anymore because you have to take care of this kid.
And you're exhausted.
The mom is the one that's just too focused on the kid and just starts letting things go. Or the dad is checked out. Like it's just that child is not a band-aid for your problems. 100%. Do not have a child until your relationship is solid.
Yeah. And that's the tough part. Like I saw this Instagram reel just a couple days ago. I like reposted it on my story. It was a surgeon who had Mehndi on her hands.
Oh yeah, I saw
and
that.
I think the caption said something like, performing surgery with Mehndi on my hands, thinking about all the women that came before us who only like wash dishes and like clean the house.
Yeah.
Right. And I just got goosebumps. It makes me feel so like some kind of way. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, yes, our moms sacrificed so much. Our moms, in like our grandmas, our great grandmas, giving up their passions. Yeah. Right? Because kids are now in the picture.
They encompassed the title of mom.
Yeah.
And let go of who they were as a person.
Exactly.
I hate that.
And at the end of the day, like, yes, you're a mom, but you're also like your own person. Yeah. You shouldn't just be known as
a mom. Right? Yeah. We're going to talk about motherhood in depth in a different episode because that's something that I was really scared of when I was pregnant is, am I going to lose my identity as a person and just become mom? Right. Right? Which, best title I've ever had. Yeah. But again, I'm not just a mom.
Yeah. 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 So shout out to all the moms.
Shout out to the moms. A lot of what we're talking about also is reflected in media. I don't watch a lot of Pakistani drama, but Fizza does.
Yes.
And there was this one you were telling me about.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's now reflected. This is probably one of the first dramas that I've seen that's covered this topic, which essentially is, two people get married and the husband is an abusive individual who's a bum. He doesn't do anything. He lies about his income and basically just mooches off of his wife. His wife is like forced to work to like keep the household going, but at the same time is expected to like keep his honor in public around other people, essentially like lie that he's the one that makes the money and he's the one that
your honor is your own. No one is responsible for it but yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
But the drama, essentially, I was like, this is BS. Like the beginning was really slow, so I stopped watching it. But then one of our friends who also watches Pakistani drama was like, it gets so good.
What's
and
the
I'm
name?
Like, what do you mean? It's called Kafil.
Kafil.
And I was like, what do you mean? And I started watching it and it shows, them in the future with 4 kids and how this abusive relationship and the dynamic in the household between the parents affected the kids in different ways. So
that's very progressive.
I know.
Interesting.
I know. And so like it's like one kid's like experiencing a lot of anxiety and like panic attacks, right? Another one is nervous about the Rishta process because she's like, well, they're gonna want to come and meet my dad. And like he is a bum and like he doesn't do anything and he's embarrassing and essentially he's a narcissist. And then the son, who's the eldest, so it's like one eldest son and 3 daughters. The son is also the bread maker now, and he's the one that's emotionally supporting his mom.
Right.
Right.
Oh my.
I don't want to ruin it. Obviously, I think if that's something that you'd want to watch, I think definitely you should check it out. That's probably wild. My number 1 recommended show at this point. Yeah.
Another reason why we need to be more careful in the Rishta process so you don't end up with someone that's a bum.
Yes.
But again, if you did end up with someone that was a bum that you didn't know, you should be able to leave without everyone being like, oh, you didn't try hard enough.
Yeah.
I can't.
So a lot of what Appa does online, the sport of South Asian sis.
I'm on a hiatus, but things I've done online.
A lot of what she does is, give younger, folks, I guess,
not even younger, like just folks.
Unsolicited advice. I don't know.
I mean, they ask me questions.
Yeah, okay.
So, she like unsolicited.
So she gets asked questions, and given her experience and her field of work and stuff, and how intelligent she is.
I don't know about that.
She gives really great advice. And so I thought maybe we could do like a little segment on what do you think are some important questions that somebody should ask a potential partner?
Oh, man. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions. I think it also, one thing you have to take into consideration is your age. I met Alex later in my 20s, and at that point I knew exactly what I wanted. So it was no BS, like, we're getting married. Like, it was very straightforward. I also understand not everybody works that way or moves that way. I think it's very important to have a one-on-one conversation with the person that's your potential match. I know some people who are more religious might want a chaperone, and that's completely fine, but you should be comfortable enough to ask questions without, feeling like I can't ask this.
Yeah, because imagine like if you're already like worried about asking before.
Yeah.
How
and,
would
like,
it
your
be
parent
afterwards?
is there.
Right?
Maybe take a friend or a sibling instead of a parent. But anyways, some really important things are, what are your goals in life, right? Because everyone's got different goals, and a lot of times the primary parent, their goals get left behind once children come into the picture. If you want children, because actually a lot of folks these things don't, and that's fine.
We have a family friend that I last met in the summer who was like, yeah, we don't want to have kids. And I'm like,
good for them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, so openly. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's
I'm like
unheard of, to be spoken so openly, unheard of.
Because like they're both travelers, they want to explore the world, and they had, it doesn't matter what your reasons are. You should have.
If you don't want to have kids, you don't have kids.
You should have the option, right? Yeah. Like, it's your choice.
And the whole kids thing, never go into a relationship thinking you can change the other person's mind. So if you're thinking they'll change their mind, they're gonna want to have kids, and they're thinking she'll change her mind and she won't want to have, that's never gonna work. That's never gonna work.
It's because really not.
Accidental pregnancies happen. You got to be on the same page,
right?
Right. So kids, goals and ambitions, finances. Ooh. Being honest about. I'm not saying you have to lay down every single thing. I'm in like so much debt, blah blah blah. But where you're at with your finances, your financial goals, how you spend your money, which is so important. Thankfully, Alex and I spend our money on food, and that's the common denominator. So, that's really, because if you go into a marriage and you don't know this person's financial status, and let's say they're in debt and something happens to them and you didn't have a prenup, guess who's responsible for that debt, depending on where you live. Right. So that's really important. Family dynamics, that's huge. And when I say family dynamics, I mean, like, break down who you are as a person in your family and what the expectation of your partner would be.
Right.
So what I told Alex was, I'm looking for someone who can be an older sister. he remember when Faran's nikah, he like was trying to break the tension from everyone crying from like the really beautiful speech that Emily's sister had given, and he was like, "Hi everyone, I'm Alex. I'm Hira's wife."
Oh yeah, that was actually so cute.
It was sweet.
Oh my gosh.
So I had told Alex, like, I'm the oldest in this family, so I expect my partner to be an older brother to my siblings because we're super close, and also a son to my parents. And he did that. He showed up in that way without me even asking. Right? I had set that expectation, and to this day, he still shows up for all of my siblings and for my mom, and I love that about him.
He's the one who suggested that I should come live here when I became homeless.
Homeless, God. Even before I had said anything, he came to me and he was like, "Fizza's gonna live with us. There's no question about that." So that's the kind of person that I wanted. So whatever your dynamic is, your partner, tell them what the expectation is of where they fit. So we got goals and ambition. We've got finances. We've got family dynamics,
friend dynamics.
That
one is so important. Like, because they say what, like, the 5 closest people to you, like, basically define who you are as a person, right? if you are with somebody, it's important to ask them, who are your closest people, right? Do you have someone to go to talk to about your problems?
Yeah.
Because, essentially what can happen is they might, if you do end up with this person and they don't have someone to talk to, you become their therapist.
Yeah. Or their support system if they don't have one.
Or their entire support system, which is also like not healthy, right?
So the things we're talking about is very general stuff that people are like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. But it's really important to consider things like ambition and goals, things like children, things like family dynamics, all of these different pieces. But when you break it down even further to the real important parts, political views are very important because political views and how to raise children will become points where you will butt heads with people.
Yeah.
You need someone who has at least similar views, if not the exact same, or is supportive of your views, right? And the same thing when it comes to raising children. Like, how are you going to raise your kid?
Yeah.
Right? What are the things that your family expects? What are the things that my family expects? Those are so key and so important because you, as the parents of those future children, need to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what anybody else is saying, because families try and influence how children are raised.
For real.
And it can get pretty messy pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building on what Fizza had said earlier about friend dynamics, it's really important for both people to have a good support system in place, whether that's friends or family or a therapist or whatever it is, because that support system is who they're going to turn to when your relationship is struggling.
Right.
Every relationship struggles, even the best relationships. Healthy relationships have struggle and they have growth.
Yeah.
And in those moments when you're upset with each other and you can't turn to each other, you need people who will have your back as a couple. So it's very important for your friends to and your family to know your partner so they can give that support to help your relationship thrive if it gets to that point.
Yeah. I think the other thing that's really important too is someone who has gone to therapy personally.
That's fair.
I think, as someone who has gone to therapy, there's so much growth. You have so many realizations about yourself, who you are as a person, what you want in life. And I think that if you are someone who believes in therapy, that would really be important.
I feel like that's also a political view. Some people don't believe in therapy.
It could be. Yeah.
I don't know. It could be.
Yeah, some people don't think they need therapy.
You also don't need to find someone who is exactly the same as you. And I say this a lot to some of my friends who are single. It's like, folks are looking for, yeah, well, I play volleyball, so my partner has to play volleyball. Or like, I'm like politically involved, so my partner has to be politically involved. And that's not necessarily true. I, before the baby, did a lot of community work. So a lot of volunteering, going out, protests, whatever. Like, I did a lot of that stuff. In my head before I got married, I was like, I want to marry someone where, this like wild dream of mine, we get arrested at the protest together, like blah 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 blah, right? I actually would probably hate that.
Yeah.
What I needed and in Alex, what I found is someone who takes care of me once I'm home and I need to debrief and I just need that like space to be safe. And he provides that.
He is such a calm person, dude.
Honestly.
She's so chaotic and her energy can be so chaotic. She gets involved in chaos.
I love chaos.
And
it's an ADHD thing.
It's really
thrive
nice.
in chaos.
It's really nice to see like her have somebody like that.
Yeah.
That kind of like brings her back down.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. I think that's one of the best qualities that he has as a person. The ability, another thing I was thinking of, the ability to have constructive conversations when you're having issues without demeaning each other.
Oh, wow.
So, we also have people in our life or people who have been in our life before that their relationships were such where if they were in an argument, it was very vile and very nasty to each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes in public, sometimes in private, but some people, like, I would hear these things from folks and be like, oh, this person said this to me. And I'm like, how do you say that to someone you're saying that you love and respect? Because calling names, you're effing this and you're that's not it, right? That is not how relationships should be ever. Like you should never demean and disrespect the person who is your life partner.
Or like listening passively, like listening to your partner, but creating your like response while they're speaking to you
because you're trying to argue and not actually find a solution or be right all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like you are a couple, you are on the same team,
Yep.
essentially.
Yep.
So it doesn't make sense for you. Like, of course, you're going to have arguments, but like approaching it with gentleness,
Yep.
right? Openness,
Yep.
you know, not the mindset that, you know, when this argument ends, like, I'm going to prove my point and I'm going to be right.
Yeah. That's not how that works.
Doesn't make sense.
And I'm speaking from experience. Like Alex and I, we have a great relationship, alhamdulillah, but like that doesn't mean that we haven't had turmoil. We've definitely had turmoil, but and very intense moments where like especially like when I was freshly postpartum, there have been some really intense conversations, but never have we called each other names or demeaned each other or like just said nasty things about each other or each other's families. Like you see these things happening in some relationships, and I sit there and I wonder, like, why are you guys together?
I feel like family is such a sensitive topic in arguments. Like if your partner were to say something, like for me, if somebody said something about my family members,
Yeah.
I'm just like so protective of them that I just feel like my heart would break.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, oh, so in reality, like this is what you think.
Yeah. And that's
about my
someone you're
family.
trying to create a family
A family with,
right?
exactly.
So like what the heck?
Yeah.
One rule I think that I believe works for a lot of people, and I could be wrong in this, or it could just be that it works for us, is that the two parties, families, are separate in the sense that I am responsible for my family and communicating with them all of these whatever things. You're responsible for your family and communicating with them all of these things. And this comes in handy when it comes to turmoil between families. For example, when you have kids, right? You're on the same page. I'm telling my family, okay, we have a brand new baby. No one is kissing the baby until the baby has vaccines.
Right.
And your partner is saying the same thing to their family, and you two are enforcing it with your own respective families. In no way, shape, or form should one person be in a situation where they have to be the one enforcing something or talking about something with the other, especially with in laws like parents and stuff. It gets muddy, it can get disrespectful, it can get uncomfortable. So let's just avoid that.
Yeah.
Right? In any sense, like if I've ever had a weird situation with Alex's mom, or like if he's ever been in a weird situation with our mom, we tell each other and then we deal with it, right? Like he'll talk to his mom, I'll talk to mom, and everything is fine, right? Because I feel like that's just the better way to do it, or like a healthier way to do it, right? And then eventually you develop a relationship with your in-laws, and inshallah, like it gets stronger, and there are things that you can have input in or say things. um for example, I love my mother-in-law. She is the sweetest. And she's so respectful of like the boundaries we have around baby. She's always double checking, and like, I hear these stories about these mother-in-laws who are doing all these things with babies, and I'm just like, thank God mine is like an angel. Like,
dude.
Yeah.
You drop your baby off at your mother-in-law's place, you come back, the baby's gotten a haircut. Could you imagine?
I think I would have an aneurysm.
I would lose it.
But yeah, so there's a lot to be said about like what to look for in the relationship process. I think one thing we also missed, we did talk about it a lot earlier, is like your level of belief when it comes to religion, if you're from a religious community, and also culture, right? How cultured are you? So do you, and I know it's hard to be honest about the religious piece, especially because you're afraid of judgment. But are you that afraid of judgment that you're willing to let things pass or lie about things and be stuck in a situation you want to be in?
This
right?
person's gonna be like, you're gonna be so intimate emotionally, like with this person, and they have to know all of those things about
Like
you.
if you say I pray 5 times a day and then you get married and live with them and they see you clearly don't pray 5 times a day, that's gonna become a problem.
Right.
Culture is a huge one too.
Culture is a huge one. That is a huge one.
Even in a culture, every family operates differently.
Yep.
Right, with cultural expectations depending on what specific South Asian culture you're from, or any culture really.
Gift giving. Something really toxic in our culture is like at dinner parties, while the aunties slave away making dinner, the uncles always get to eat first.
No, it's never happening in our house.
You know what I mean?
No.
So like it might be different in someone else's family.
Yeah.
Or like the whole like cooking and cleaning thing, right? Like when we get together for like family dinner,
who's expected to
help? Who's gonna cook? Who's gonna clean?
It's even little things like, some families, like birthdays are a huge deal, and some families they're not, and that's fine, right? Some families are like, oh, when you get gifts, you have to immediately open them in front of everyone, And some families are like, no, we're going to open them in private because we don't like that. So you have to really know the dynamic and like understand like how that person's family is going to kind of meld with yours. Right? And they don't have to be the same.
They don't.
You just have to understand what it's going to be like on one family versus the other.
Right.
So
yeah. I think in terms of culture as well, for me personally, you know, I think speaking the language is super important.
Yeah, fair.
You know, knowing how to speak Urdu, understand Urdu, because essentially, you know, my mom, for example, would be most comfortable speaking in Urdu.
Yeah.
I love things like Shairi, and I love Bollywood, and I love Pakistani drama, and I love, you know, all of these different things. And I'm not saying that, you know, if you end up with someone who doesn't know any of that, they won't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I feel like, for me personally, it's like another depth.
And that's fair. It's what you think is important for you. I mean, I also enjoy Shairi and like all this kind of stuff, but in a relationship, it was not important to me because I have my sister. Like, that's who I can go enjoy it with, right?
True.
And we do. We like go to these different events all the time, and it's great. And Alex is at home with a baby, and he has his own personal interests, right? Like he has his friends, he has, you know, basketball and anime and like all these other things that he likes to do, and that I don't take any interest in. And then I'm home.
You have to have your own. Like you're an individual. Like you have to have your own hobbies and your own passions and things to pursue.
Your own life, right? Drives me nuts when like couples get together and they're just like the same person. Like one person is obviously compensating, and they're just like, I just can't be without my partner ever. Like we had an incident. We won't give you details, but there was an incident recently where like there was a party and like it was specifically only for the girls, and one person was like, well, why can't I bring my husband or partner, whoever? And it was like, because it's for the girls.
It's for the girls.
Like, what do you mean? So yeah, I don't know. That's like basically all the stuff that was running through my mind. I don't know if there's anything else you were thinking of.
No.
But if you are out there and you are looking for, you know, a rishta, you're
don't call
looking
us
to get married. Don't call. Looking to get married. Just remember a couple key things. Be honest in who you are. I know it can be scary, especially with the religious piece. Be honest in your expectations. Be flexible, and like that Rishta Baji says, the person you choose also has to choose you, right? So know your worth, know what you bring to the table, but also know that the other person is also looking for specifications. And best of luck.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.
We really appreciate all the responses that we get. So please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye. Oh my god.
If you're looking for Ursa, then what?
Don't call us. This fucking piece of hair is pissing me off.
Everything's pissing me off. I feel overstimulated.
What was the thing that you got, Emily?
Hold on, partner.
I'm overstimulated.
And the aunties?
That's a risque song already.
Aunties? Man, I've literally never seen them like that before.
Like, Wendy's or shut up.
Wheatish skin tone.
Wheatish skin tone. Why is your mom cleaning your chuddy?
Ew.
He also
don't go to see my auntie because she's gonna charge you like $10,000.
Unless you have $10,000. Please don't sue us.
Is it recording?
I think so, yeah.